はい、皆さん、こんにちは。お帰りなさい. Welcome back to Unit 8 of Level 2. This unit is going to be focusing on kind of like the more complicated structures, basically connecting two sentences together to form like conditional speech, like when this happens, this happens. Like when A happens, then B happened as well. Like things like just kind of like two events or actions or sentences connected together. This kind of like when sentences. So this tends to be a little bit more complicated. So let's get into it. So the first sentence pattern that we want to learn is the when sentence. When sentence one happens, and then B sentence B. Like sentence one, toki, sentence two. So basically toki is when. Sentence one, toki, sentence two. So like, 日本に行くとき、ビザを取ります。When I go to Japan, I get a visa. 気分が悪いとき。When I feel sick, I go to hospital. 気分が悪いとき、病院に行きます。Those are pretty simple. Just one grammatical note is that the toki connects to the short form. So 日本に行く short form toki, 気分が悪い toki. So both are short forms. So these are the when sentences. 日本に行く時 when I go to Japan. 気分が悪い時 when I feel sick. So now grammar-wise, it's not so complicated, but there is one concept of when in Japanese that's very different from that of English. This is about the tense or the temporal relationship between sentence 1 and 2. Think of this example. 教室を出るとき、電気を消します. When I leave the classroom, I turn off the light, like as your daily habit. You always do. 教室を出るとき、電気を消しました. So when I left the classroom, I turned off the light. So it's about the past. When I left the classroom, I turned off the light. Notice that these two sentences, like first one is happening present. It's the daily habit. It's happening every day. So it's in present tense, understandable. But the second sentence, when I left the classroom, so it's about the past, but the 教室を出る, it's in present tense. So it's not 教室を出たとき. So why is 消しました past tense, but 出る is in present tense? It should be about the past event and should be in the past tense. Why it's in the present tense is because the tense of sentence one doesn't depend on the absolute time. So whether it happened past or present, it doesn't matter. What matters is sentence one's tense always depends on the relationship between sentence one and two. So always think of the timeline and think of when sentence one and two happened relatively. Basically, the sentence two, so that second sentence, 電気を消しました. This is the main event. Always think of when it happened first, and then in relation to when sentence two happened, has sentence one happened or not? So the order of action is that you turn off the light and then get out of the classroom. So that's the order of things, right? So in that case, 電気を消す as a standard of the time, and then 電教室を出る has not happened yet. So it's from sentence perspective. Sentence one is a future event. It hasn't happened yet. So it's in the present or future tense. 電教室を出る. It's in the present tense because it hasn't happened yet. When to happened. So if it happened before, like 教室を出たとき、電気を消します. If that was the case, then 教室を出る happened first. You got out of the classroom and then turned off the light. 電気を消しました. So the main important point is that sentence one's tense doesn't depend on the absolute time. So whether it happened past or now, it doesn't matter. What matters is the relationship between one and two, which happened first. That's what matters. So it's a relative timeline. This is very different from English because English when is an absolute time. You always make it into past tense if it happened past. So it's that simple in English, but in Japanese, it's a relative timeline. When sentence one and sentence two, which one happened first, which one after. So always think of the sequence of events, which one happened first when you think of when. Another temporal kind of relationship that we're going to learn is the short form plus to. This is the conditional speech. So short forms plus to, you can connect another sentence. かなさんと話すと元気になります。かなさんと話すと元気になります。秋になると木が赤くなります。So, and notice that this is a cause and effect relationship, basically. So that's why it says it's a constant result in actual conditions. Kana-san to hanasu, that's the cause. When I talk to Kana, I become uplifted. I feel good. Genki ni narimasu, that's the effect. Aki ni naru, when it becomes fall, when the fall comes, that's the cause. Ki ga akaku narimasu, the trees turn red, that's the effect. So this is always like the constant result. When cause happens, effect always comes. So this cause and effect, this is the main idea of to. 久美さんが国に帰ると寂しくなります。If Kumi goes back home, I'll be sad and lonely. 久美さんが国に帰ると悲しくなります。So it is a constant result, but it can apply to like one, of course, like one time only cause and effect. Like Kumi-san ga kuni ni kaeru. Like your friend Kumi goes back to her country. That probably only happens once. So when that happens, I'll be sad. So this kind of like one time cause and effect can also be expressed by to. Either way, main idea is it's always a constant result, cause and effect. So by what we mean by constant result is here like it has to be cause and effect. So when A happens, B always happens. So for example, it's like natural phenomena, like we just talked about. Aki ni naru to ki ga akaku narimasu. So when the fall comes, trees always turn red. Or like habitual actions. Like Kana-san to hanasu. Like whenever I talk to Kana, I feel uplifted. It's kind of like a cause and effect relationship that always applies. It's kind of a constant results. This is what we mean by the to sentences. Note that you could talk about past events, like when A happened, B always happened, B used to happen. But even when you do talk about the past cause and effect, the sentence one, sentence A, isn't always in present tense. 冬になる小さい時, when I was young, 冬になるとスキーをしました. Whenever winter came, we used to ski. 冬になるとスキーをしました. So it's a past event, past cause and effect, but 冬になるとthe A part, sentence one part, is always in present tense, whether it's future, whether it's present or past.